hand on the wheel. I'm closing the top on the raindrop. I'm keeping the game in the headlock. When throw it blind in my dreadlock. In the end zone with the mad dot. One phone call, get it dead stop. I feel like I own the season. Say one thing, just give me a reason. Knowing you're mad, I'm undefeated. Top dog, making it even.
Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up.
I can't take no off. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm litty. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Made it, kill it, and did it again. With the intent, no, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it.
Know you sad about it. Know you sad about it.
It's lonely on top of the throne. I ain't a king of the pawn. Hop on a jet across the globe. I guess the road is my home and there's so many milk. Bird in my dome and like turbulent air. I'm switching these flows. If you look at my neck, boy, I'm letting it snow. I'm sturdy as hell, as a vessel alone. They showing me love in my city. Gangs ain't hippies. Women like Nick, you know what I'm about. I'm not the stereotypes. They do not fit me. I'm bigger than life. Gave everyone jobs. I'm not a guard. Go hawk with a squad. I'm playing my part, but them LeBron. Rings to the team. I feel Jackson and hard. The homie calling from a cell. A couple of homies be making it. I just want all of them dudes to the well. Not worry about taking a couple of L's. Don't sin for me, just win for me. Don't kill for me, just live for me. Keep it real for me. We eat together, leave the bill for me like. Hand on my heart, I give it all I got. Walk the walk inside the talk. Take it higher, that's a God. Hand on my heart, no, I give it all I got. Walk the walk, talk the talk. Take it higher, that's a God. Never stopping, that's a must. Always winning, never lost. GPS, I never lost. GPS, I never lost. Who do it better than me? Yeah. Vision on 2020. Yeah. VVS, Clippity. Yeah. Determination, laser focus. Banging on they know they taking notice. Taking notice. Taking notice. Determination, laser focus. Banging on they know they taking notice.
Y'all already know what time it is, huh? Playing skills, you did.
Coach, thank you. We have playoff football and bone-chilling playoff football at that in the city of brotherly love at Lincoln Financial Field. Coming up, an important divisional round matchup in the NFC between the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. One of two spots in the NFC title game awaits the winner here as we're underway in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs.
Mike's 54. Mike's 54. Hey, watch the ball. Watch the ball. Hey. Look at him.
The first carry now. This is Johnson. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. 53. Ready.
The shotgun snap for Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
Check. Block 54. Block 54. Here we go.
From the gun, here's Stafford. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
And we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down now. It's Vaughn, and he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Double dog, that's the way.
5-7.
51 the mic, boy, 51. I'm trying to...
Black. 5.
Wentz now on 1st down. And complete to Zach Ertz. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. A good pickup there, 21 yards. I love that play, because in the snow you think run, run, run. Big passing play there.
And defenders hate it, especially in open space, because trying to come under control, break down, and make a tackle in the open field, difficult in normal conditions. In these conditions, almost impossible.
That's going to be caught. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
Well, you were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal.
You must be dreaming.
Wentz to throw again. And a little floater there is incomplete. He was looking for Miles Sanders out of the backfield, but now it's 3rd and goal.
Used to have a coach just tell us all the time, those scouting reports aren't just to use up paper, guys. Well, nowadays, you know, we're watching a computer screen, right? They scouted this team very well. Know that they like to use the running backs in the passing game. They covered that play successfully.
Grade 15. Grade 15.
On 3rd down, it's Vaughn, and he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. A 3-yard touchdown run as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. You always worry about the plant foot in the snow, but no problems there. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Yeah, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That, too.
To throw again on 2nd down. Stafford, 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
To throw is Stafford. It's caught. Jones. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Stafford to Jones, enough for a Lion 1st down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
2.
Throwing again is Stafford. He finds his man Johnson. Nothing at all on that one. It'll be second down.
He's out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
Bravo.
54.
Stafford looks to throw again. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Here's Stafford. Got him in on the right sideline. It's Lamb. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 38-yard line. Stafford going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. They'll run it with Johnson. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
60.
Mike 50, Mike 7. Mike's 50, Mike's 50. Let's get it.
Hey, team 6. Team 6.
From the 29, Stafford. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Fletcher Cox. Give him the credit for the sack and a loss of 14 yards. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. Out of the gun, Stafford. And he's going to go down again.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. This one will sail out of bounds. It'll depend on the spot here. And the side judge says that went out at the 7-yard line.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
They'll run on first down. Vaughn. And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
Snap coming at 1. Now wins. Trying for the tight end. Ertz, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And he will not get all the way home, but he will take this back down to about the 2-yard line. And that pick just sets him up beautifully right down near the goal line.
I remember being in a defensive meeting back when I was in college, and our defensive coordinator says, we're going to call this Be Who You Are defense. D linemen, you play the run. Linebackers, be aware of anything. And secondary, you play the pass. That way, you're all set, ready for whatever they...
And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Nick Bonnet there to make the grab as they are now on the board here in the first half. Well, that didn't take long. The turnover instantly almost turning into points.
And when that happens, a lot of teams have the mentality of let's strike right now. You've got them off balance after the turnover or the takeaway. Let's go get it. And that's exactly what they did.
And it's no good. He misses the extra point, and this remains a 7-6 game. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This will be taken to the back of the end zone.
Let's go.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 26-yard line.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
You got nothing.
They'll try the left side. It's Vaughn. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
We begin to turn you up. 82.
Wins to throw on 3rd and 1. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off near the 34.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Mike 50. Cut.
Hey, box truck.
Alert!
After the interception, here's Stafford. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter is a good running back dive play.
Check pass. Hey. 50 to Mike. 50. 32. Mike 50. Come on, baby. Come on, let's go. Hurry. Check safety.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Hey, go, go. It's our time. Here, 51, 951. Bring it. Right here.
Wentz now to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Mike 51.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Vaughn. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 21 yards there on 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
5-9.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. 2nd quarter action, 2 minutes to go on divisional round weekend. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend.
Silver.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Wentz. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked by Tracy Walker. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
Hey, ready. Blue 60. 50,
Mike's 50.
Yo. Hey, 22.
Yo. Kill.
Hey, double right.
On 1st down, Stafford here. Looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Avonte Maddox. The 40, 30, 10. And he'll score. Touchdown, Eagles. The try here for the extra point. Oh, he missed it. No good. So this remains a 4-point game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Fielded about a yard deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the...
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. Not the best of plays there as a quarterback. You're right-handed, rolling left, trying to throw it that far downfield.
I remember a coach of mine saying, son, that's the equivalent of trying to get the car keys out of your pocket with your opposite hand while you're trying to run. You just can't do it.
46 down, man, 5-4.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. This will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
On play action, Wentz. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down. On first down, it's Vaughn. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Watch twitching, spill.
The 46-yard line.
Sunday. Hey, wahoo!
Looking to throw on second down. Wentz. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack.
Mike 55. I'm coming. Mike 55. Ram. Get in the weight room. Get in the weight room. Check. Fresno. Mike 55.
Here's Wentz to throw. Gonna look deep for Jeffrey. That's caught inside the 20. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Wentz. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. A 16-yard touchdown. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. Extra point safely through. And that pushes the lead up to 11. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
A trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway. This will be taken in at the 1. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Philadelphia. That'll go down as a 99-yard kick return. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. No going for two. They'll kick the point after. And the lead is up to 18 now.
Next to score, Eagles 27, Lions 9.
So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. To throw on 3rd down. Stafford nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Here's Ryan Allen now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one goes sailing out of bounds. Where did it cross? Well, they're going to say on this side of midfield.
Hey, 20! Defense wins championship. Hey, check 24. Check 24.
They'll run on 1st down. Vaughn. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 10 yards there and an Eagle 1st down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Right back to him on 1st down. And down inside the 35 he goes to the 32-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
At the 32-yard line.
Now a give right side. It's Vaughn. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now Wentz. That is caught at the 7. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. In for the score. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. And right now, Charles, I think you'd have to say their class starting to show through.
Yeah, they were disappointed not to get the number 1 seed in the playoffs, but the reality is these guys can play anywhere. It doesn't matter for them.
And if they can indeed hold on to this lead, that's going to set up one heck of a championship game next Sunday.
Let's come back and watch it, shall we?
Something tells me you and I are going to be there. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Stafford. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
Well, it's a cold night, and whether you're a quarterback that wears a glove on his throwing hand or not, that ball is a rock, Brandon. You've got to really drive it through the cold and the wind, or it can take off on you. And that may have been what happened there.
Come get some. Come on here. Come get some. He don't want it.
57.
On first down, it's Vaughn. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Let's go, D. It's going to be a long day, offense. It's going to be a long day. Kill. Rush in.
Other side, solid.
Slam.
They'll keep it on the ground. Vaughn. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Eagles take advantage of good field position on the turnover to cash this one in. Extra point up and through. And the lead will swell by 1 more.
Lions 9.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Hey, here, shift. Let's find 7. Watch the fly. Watch the fly. Watch the fly. Watch the fly.
From just shy of midfield, Wentz dancing to his left. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a third down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir, able to turn that into a positive gain. On third down, it's Vaughn, and they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
Hey. Shorty. Here, shift. I got it. Kill. Hey, Charlie. Let's go.
They'll keep it on the ground. Vaughn. He's got daylight. Past the 20. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A big play there. Saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game as his guys continue to pour it on. Now the try here for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
Eagles 48, Lions 9.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
Let's go.
At their own 21-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Now a pass hauled in downfield. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. 81 yards. And the Lions gain a bit of respectability.
So, my man, another touchdown. They're looking like the #1 seed that they earned throughout the year. Looking pretty dominant right now.
We knew the road to the Super Bowl would run right through this stadium. Somebody's going to have to come in here and beat these guys. Good luck. I don't think it's happening this weekend.
No, definitely not this weekend. And for anyone else out there, bring your game.
Buyer beware. Prater for the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
The Eagles take over first and 10. Let's go! At their own 25-yard line.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up.
Early down stuff will put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
The Eagles on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 11.
74.
51's the mic. 51's the mic.
Working from the gun. Wentz. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Deshaun Hand, his 2nd sack of the night.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sack.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Now Stafford. Buying time to his left. He gets this one to Johnson. They'll give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Monday. Check 26.
On 3rd down, Stafford nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Under 10. 50. Joker. Hey, 5-0. Hey, Haywood.
Lions go for it on 4th. It's Stafford. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. First catch for him in these playoffs. He was held without one last week, but he's got a first down on that effort. Fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They felt compelled to go for it, and they got it.
Well, I'd look down at my play sheet, and what I would find, plays that have been successful throughout the game that have worked at the distance you need, and that's exactly what they got done.
Stafford now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Watch twist, watch 21. Hey, middle. Hey, Echo.
Now Stafford. This complete to Jones. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
First down, Detroit.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Big 20. 11. Hey, easy.
The shotgun snap for Stafford. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 15 yards for the Lions there on a first down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
We got this.
So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Stafford. Throw left side complete. That's Lamb. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. To the air again, Stafford. His throw incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2.
Alert! Hey, Delta. Kill. Hey, Red.
Again, it's Stafford. That's to his running back, Kerryon Johnson. No gain at all on the play there, and that'll bring up 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Set. Blue 60. Hey, Red. I got him. White. Undercrunch. Smooth.
From the red zone now, Stafford. Complete. It's Johnson. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down.
We got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving. Converge. Check. Hey, middle.
Hey, 22.
Stafford looks to throw again. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
50, minus 50.
53. Ready. Buzz.
Throwing again is Stafford. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Avonte Maddox. Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick-6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or two.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
Now the final act of this victory, the extra point. It's up and good, and they add one more to what will wind up a fairly lopsided victory. And looking at it from the perspective of the losing side here in this divisional round, it all ends so abruptly, doesn't it? A few hours ago, you got all this hope and anticipation of maybe a deep run, and now you're out of it.
Well, let's applaud the team that won, and rightly so. They're moving on. They still have a chance to get to the big game. But let's not bury